Bill Lockwood is here, my friend and a friend of America, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven. Bill Lockwood is a preacher, teacher, blogger, radio host of American Liberty with Bill Lockwood, and author of The Study Guide of Ezekiel, the Watchman of Israel. Bill, good morning,
yes, sir.
How you doing?
How are you doing today, Jesse?
All is well, Bill. How about you?
Oh, very good. Glad to be here with you.
I'm glad you're back, Bill. Bill is here the last Tuesday of every month, folks, and I look forward to talking to Bill. Bill, there is, I have a friend who said to me, he doesn't agree with my politics. He agrees with everything else I do. And the one white person he likes is you.
Well, tell him I said thank you for that. Well, that's good. I appreciate it.
That's right. I want to talk to you about your blog post, but first, give me your thoughts on what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh.
Well, I believe that what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh is just evil. It's just absolutely evil. You have accusers coming forth, and it's interesting. Even the Bible tells us that a person should be only accused at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, and yet we have a woman making a statement, and then the Democrats, they say, I believe her. Well, I suppose that people are guilty until they're proven innocent any longer in this country, according to the Democrat mentality. But I think it's just awful what's taking place with Judge Kavanaugh. As a matter of fact, just looking back over the history of Judge Bork and Clarence Thomas and the accusations that were leveled against them by the liberal Democrats, it's no surprise that they would do this kind of thing. And it is, I think it's just evil what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh. And I feel so sorry for his children, whom he brought into that court hearing the first day. But they had to take them out because the Democrats got so nasty and so ugly so quickly. Yeah. And it's just it's a horrible crying shame what's happening in America.
I've noticed that the Democrats are cold-hearted, calculated, evil group of folks, and they're so nasty and mean that they will eat their own to get what they want, to gain power and wealth. They have no love for anyone.
I believe that's right, because there is no moral compass with them at all. They generally are non-believers in God, non-believers in the Bible. They don't have a moral compass as to guide them on what is right and what is wrong. And here's another interesting thing. You know, the congressmen and senators have a slush fund that has been has paid out over $17 million to different senators and congressmen to cover their sexual harassment charges. And this has been secret to the American people. They don't release who has benefited from the slush fund. These are the people sitting in judgment on Judge Kavanaugh and accusing him. I think it is what a horrific crime that they are perpetrating on Americans. And that's taxpayer-funded money, by the way, that they're raiding.
Amazing. I want to play a soundbite for you, Bill, and for the audience. This is from Fox News. Judge Brett Kavanaugh was interviewed by Martha MacCallum on Fox News last night. And Judge Kavanaugh says he was a virgin throughout the years in question. Here's the soundbite.
Okay.
Through all these years that are in question, you were a virgin.
That's correct.
Never had sexual intercourse with anyone in high school?
Correct.
And through what years in college, since we're probing into your personal life here?
Many years after. I'll leave it at that. Many years after.
Isn't that amazing? This man was a virgin throughout high school. How you going to have sex if you're a virgin?
Yeah. You know, I tell kids, and they don't believe me, but they say, I've never smoked weed in my life. I've never touched it. I've never handled it. I've never had it in my mouth. I've never had any drug like that. And they just don't believe me. Yeah. It is so prevalent today. And I guess that's the way we are so immoral in our society. People are non-believers in such statements of clean living.
Yeah, so this woman is accusing him, just assuming that he had had sex during high school. Right. I wonder what, I doubt now, Bill, that she will testify come Thursday.
You doubt that Brett Kavanaugh will testify?
No, that this woman Ford.
Oh, the woman will. Yeah, I wondered about that. I guess what I grow tired of is that when the Democrats are in charge of Washington, everything goes the Democrat way. And when the Republicans are in charge of Washington, everything goes the Democrat way.
Yeah.
I think they should have had the hearing, got it done. Their time frame was already up. Let's finish this up and get him nominated or get him actually confirmed on the bench. But at any rate, it is a sad story.
Yeah, I believe that the president is frustrated at the RINO Republicans that they are constantly giving in to these godless Democrats' demands, even when the Republicans have control of both houses. It's just mind-blowing to see that. But I am pretty confident that Judge Kavanaugh will be confirmed. I just think he's going to be fine.
Well, I hope you're right about that, and I pray to that end also. I think he's a constitutionalist. He's a godly man. And notwithstanding accusations that have come out from one woman, which has not been corroborated, by the way, by any other person.
Yeah.
So that's important.
So I want to talk to you about your blog post on your website, American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. Soros funded Beto O'Rourke. O'Rourke. Wrong for Texas and wrong for America. Tell the folks who Beto O'Rourke is.
Well, Beto O'Rourke is a congressman.
Is it Beto or Beto?
Well, I say Beto, B-E-T-O. I don't know how to say it really. I just seen it in print, so I
think it's both. Anyway, either way. So go ahead.
But at any rate, he's a congressman from the El Paso area, and he's running against Ted Cruz for the Senate seat. And he is an extreme liberal. He is George Soros funded. That ought to cause people to have no little question about his orientation.
Yeah.
But George Soros funneled money into his campaign. But basically, it boils down to this. He's even suggested publicly, and it's on political.com, that he would favor getting rid of, if need be, ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement.
Amazing.
So number one, he wants to have socialized medicine in the state of Texas. That is taxpayer-funded medicine, taxpayer-funded hospitalization for all persons residents in the state of Texas. Number two, no immigration and customs enforcement, or very little. He wants to remove the enforcement. So what does that equal? That equals a mass flood of people coming here, living off the taxpayer dime, which is immoral in itself.
Yes.
And that's what he's calling for. And he's trying to drive a race wedge in all of this. He tells us that we're still living in Jim Crow police laws, that the Jim Crow era is still here regarding people of color. He just continues to throw out those unsubstantiated claims, and it really is creating havoc with a lot of people. And I'm surprised anybody would even vote for him. Well,
the reason that they continue to throw those out is because they always want to use black people when they are doing wrong. When they have doing wrong and have a hidden agenda, they always bring up slavery. They bring up Jim Crow because they know that not all, but most black people are going to just fall for it. These people love us. So it's a way of using black people in order to get what they want.
Right. When you appeal to a person's skin color, a person's race, that seemingly trumps everything else anymore, unless you're a right-thinking person or a critical-thinking individual or a Christian who recognizes that this is an appeal to my race and not to my manhood or to my womanhood.
That's right.
But that's what he's doing. He's appealing to a person's race instead of really appealing to rights under the law.
This guy also received a failing 27% grade on the Freedom Index.
Right. That's because number one, he is against gun rights. I mean, he wants to close what is called the gun show loophole. He is in favor of a stricter gun and firearms regulation. He's also never met an abortion law that he does not like. He likes any abortion law, taxpayer funded, partial birth abortion, everything right across the board. He has been in favor of aborting children. And that is the most horrific crime that America continues to perpetrate. By the way, I think that goes really to the bottom of the Brett Kavanaugh fight going on in Washington, D.C. He's against abortion, And the Democrats have brought up almost immediately that, they're going to protect their right to kill the unborn. And that's exactly what they're after here. So it's lawlessness, and Beto O'Rourke also represents lawlessness.
The Democrats are desperately trying to turn Texas into a Democratic state, too. That's what this primary fight is about.
Right, that's right. And that's one reason they're pouring all kinds of money from, whether it be from Hollywood or George Soros or great big liberal organizations or think tanks. They're all supporting Beto O'Rourke because they know that they can turn Texas. They can turn this country.
Let me take a quick break, Bill. I want to hold you over for my biblical question.
Okay.
Back in a moment, folks. So I'm talking to my friend Bill Lockwood, and Bill is smarter than 90 going north and loves America, just absolutely a great American. And I really mean that. He's a good friend. Bill, tell the folks how to get to your radio show, read your blogs, and do all those good things you're doing.
Well, thank you, Jesse. It's AmericanLibertyWithBillLockwood.com. That's the blog address. It also has past shows that we've done. The radio show is called the same, American Liberty with Bill Lockwood. And it airs out of Wichita Falls on Saturdays at 11 a.m. on News Talk 1290. And then out of Lubbock and Abilene on Sunday afternoons at 5 o'clock. It's an hour show, and I talk about the culture of America and what's happening politically, because I believe all of it really flows out of a religious base or religious belief in what we have as far as either godliness or ungodliness in America.
That's right. Why is it that this guy that's running against Ted Cruz, O'Rourke, why is he so close there in Texas to Ted Cruz? I would think Ted Cruz would be leading the way.
Well, I don't know really all the answers to that. I would say this, though, that, we've had unrestricted immigration in the United States for the last, as long as I can remember. And that has changed not only the demographics, but it also changed the belief system and the principles by which people live. That's one reason that even Thomas Jefferson and other founding fathers would say, you have to be careful on immigration, simply because you will import people with ideas and principles that are different from what we have as a limited constitutional framework and a belief in God and a belief that our rights are given to us by God. And if you have an unrestricted flow, then you're going to change those principles up. And so, in my view, one of the reasons that we have so many liberalism that has taken such a hold is because we have had unrestricted immigration where people have flooded in here that have no affinity to the principles of America, no affinity to the principles of constitutional limited government.
I noticed, Bill, that whenever people of color take over, the country or state or neighborhood become a socialist society. And my concern, I believe that there's like 40% whites in Texas now. I may be wrong with the number. I think I read 40. And the rest are people of color, blacks and Hispanics and others. And as they're taking over, white people are becoming fewer in numbers. My concern that Texas will eventually become a Democratic state, then it's over for Texas. It will become like California. Right.
And I believe you're correct on the figures there. I believe the same thing is coming to us because we have not the backbone and the will to be able to stop what is occurring in the transformation of America. And that's exactly what, matter of fact, it goes back to even Ted Kennedy in 1965. He changed almost single-handedly the immigration laws and practices in America. Prior to that, we had people immigrating primarily from countries such as England and other countries that had basic constitutional concepts in their mind and in their belief system. But Kennedy said that was all racist, and we needed to brown America up a little bit. Is how they have put it. Some of that put it today. And so he says we need immigration from other nations. So he said, but it will not change what's happening. But of course, he lied on that, and he knew that would, of course, change dramatically what's taking place in America. But it's not because of the skin color, but it is because of the different belief systems from which people come. Yeah. They might come from a totalitarian system, a socialistic state, such as Mexico itself. And they don't even have any affinity or any concept of a constitutional government freedom given by God, protected by the Constitution.
Why is it that I've noticed that around the world, white people tend to be the ones who believe in God, who believes in freedom? They're very creative. They believe in individuality, independence, whereas people of color don't. What is it about white people that they believe in God and the rest of the world don't?
Well, it's getting fewer and fewer whites too. So
Right,
I don't
yeah.
know. If you go to the university campuses, you'll have classrooms full of white kids who are atheistic and socialistic in their bent as well. So I think that actually the idea is that we've had the American principles, and that has been instilled in people. They came from Europe. I mean, all of America at first was European. I mean, they were all English colonies, and so that's how we began. So it came from England. Ideas of God and country really were preeminent in those people. But since then, it has not really been that way.
It's unfortunate that white people around the world are allowing the people of color to come in and corrupt their children, turning them away from God. It seems as though white people don't realize this is affecting them in a negative way, because white people are the most hated group of people on this side of heaven because they believe in God. It's just so unfortunate that this is happening.
Well, white people are hated. You know what? I found that one of the most puzzling things about human nature is I've seen more self-loathing by white people than anybody. I mean, a lot of whites pretend that they're black. They say that they have black heritage. They have a different kind of heritage. They claim that they're different racial identities, such as Elizabeth Warren. And I've seen people that write the most hateful comments about white people are white people. And I thought, well, I don't know. It's peculiar.
Once you are corrupt, you tend to love the corruptor, and then you hate what you loved before you were corrupt.
That's a good point. I guess that explains it, really.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, we have 2 minutes left together. Do you believe God loves you as you are?
Well, the Bible uses the word love in different senses. God so loved the world, John 3:16, and we love him because he first loved us. That would be when we're in an unlovable state. So yes, the answer to that is yes. But at the same time, the Bible uses the word love, such as in John 15, verses 9 and 10, where Christ says, I want you to abide in my love, and if you keep my commandments, you'll abide in my love. So evidently, there's a saving love of God, and we stay in that saving love by abiding in his commandments, even though, generally speaking, God loves everyone.
Amazing. So what's your website? Your website, Bill, again?
It's AmericanLibertyWithBillLockwood.com.
Bill, I really, and everybody at Bond and around the world really appreciate you, man. You're a good man. You're very wise, and you have one of the greatest radio shows on this side of heaven.
Well, thank you so much for that, Jesse. I don't know how wise I am. I struggle, but I try.
You're humble, too.
Well, I don't I don't want to think too highly of myself or anything.
Bill, thank you so much, and say hello to the family for me, all right?
I surely will. Thank you so much, Jesse.
So I look forward to talking to you next month.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it. I'll always have a good time with you if you're on the show.
Yes, sir. God bless you, Bill.
You too.
All right. Amazing!